Hi guys, this is Josh. It's a COVID update, and I titled this PowerPoint talk that I forgot to wear a mask. Here's four living creatures here, and one of them didn't wear a mask. Well, it's becoming obvious it's me. So it's impossible to wear a mask 24/7. I'm totally alone in this room, so that's why I didn't wear a mask. Um, I bet you didn't wear a mask right now, but should you wear a mask, I'll be willing to sit next to you. So just some videos and thoughts I have to share. I hope this helps.
From blue polos to blue lab coats and gloves, we headed down to Sacred Heart's laboratory to unmask a common question. What exactly does a mask do? So, we teamed up with the hospital's microbiology director, Dr. Rich Davis.
This one will be no mask. It's a demonstration of where respiratory droplets go and how easy they are to transmit and how a mask is effective at blocking those. That's really the key takeaway.
Here's how this demonstration worked. I had a petri dish in front of my face as if it's another person's face. Then, with and without a mask, I talked.
Hey, how you doing?
Sang.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me.
Coughed.
I thought he's a pretty good
And
singer.
sneezed. We also tried coughing with and without a mask from 2 feet away, 4 feet away, and 6 feet away. Dr. Davis put the dishes in an incubator, and we waited 24 hours for our results.
So these are the plates that you were interacting with yesterday, with or without a mask.
Let's start with the face-to-face demonstration. Mask on the left, no mask on the right. Let's go with talking first.
With a mask? Oh, that looks good. Talking without a. Oh, okay. I'm actually shocked there's any at all. I'm gonna be completely honest with you.
Next up, singing.
This was Changes by Tupac, and this was Smash Mouth.
Things will never be the same, never be the same, yeah.
Pretty similar to talking. But Dr. Davis brought up a good point about one of nightlife's most popular activities.
Like karaoke night, when that microphone after the night, I'm sure it's pretty gross and wet. So now we've got coughing. So this was just two coughs.
Really? That's crazy.
Remember, all those yellow dots, that's where bacteria grew after the droplets out of my mouth landed there. But those droplets were nothing compared to the ones from sneezing. First, mask on.
What? Okay, I'm terrified to look at this one. This is no mask. Ooh! Oh. Good Lord.
When I had my mask on, no yellow dots. But when I didn't, there was always something.
What this kind of goes to show is that most of those, heavy fat droplets that are going to come out of your mouth, that are going to have bacteria, they're going to have viruses potentially, they're going to get caught and not go forward into, the space in front of you.
It was the same case for the social distancing demonstration.
So yesterday I was standing right here.
No mask, with a mask. 4 feet, you can see it's less, but still pretty prevalent. 6 feet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just one or two few up there. So there really is that distance difference where the droplets that you're producing by coughing are pretty much, a lot of them are falling out of the air. To me, I think we're coming into a new reality where masks fit into that very social conscious paradigm. You do simple things that everyone can do. It's not going to be 100% effective, but if we all do it, it's going to definitely make a difference in preventing things from spreading one person to another.
So this is a repeat slide from my previous talks. Essentially, we are trying to avoid getting all these micro droplets of spits to be landed on our faces. That's why we're wearing the mask. But the mask itself is designed to keep these droplets from coming out in the first place. So, just from the earlier first videos, it stops most, if not all, of the droplets when the person wears a surgical mask. Yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't done with a cloth mask, which is more common these days. Surgical mask is harder to come by. But whenever I talk to a person, or I try to stay out of the splash zone. So the splash zone of talking is about, I suppose, 1.5. Most of the droplets stops at, based on all these video study, start at 1 meter. So if you talk to someone further away from that, perhaps at 1.5 meters, or ideally 2 meters, and then you wouldn't get sprayed on by all these micro droplets of spits when they talk. And when they cough, yeah, because of the airflow, it tends to go a little bit further out, right? And it starts to drop. So, yeah, I don't really hear people coughing, it's kind of causing a small panic these days. And when I cough, I usually run away, because it's just trying to be thoughtful. And when I sneeze, or when somebody sneezes, it goes really far. So it's imperative to be with someone who sneezes only when they are wearing a mask. I think that's when all of us are being conscious of wearing masks, is we don't want to sneeze and on people. And I just read a study that suggests that one sneeze carry as much as 30,000 droplets, and a cough carries 4,000. So yeah, scary times. So don't get sprayed on. That's kind of the moral of the story. If you can imagine, each person's mouth is one of these spray guns, and all of us are spitting. I'm spitting onto the my laptop screen right now by talking. So you can see it, but it's happening. So talking, yeah, it's you don't really talk to people. Well, I don't talk to people all the time when I wear a mask, particularly with my families. But just seeing all these outbreaks happening in the family setting, I try to keep my distance whenever possible. So, if we can imagine these two persons, they are not looking at each other directly, so they will be not spitting into each other directly, all these micro droplets when they talk, kind of like these two kids that are not aiming directly towards each other. Well, if you are, or I am, talking to each other like a normal would before the pandemic, you're looking at their eyes, then the mouth is to the mouth and the spit is to the mouth too, then that's very similar to aiming two water guns towards each other. Um, yeah, it's very hard, but I try to be more conscious of that. So maybe it's a mindset that you will find helpful to stay safe. So jogging outside no longer jogs right behind someone else, because the exhalation flies directly backwards. So the person behind, i.e., will never be me, will potentially get spit on by these micro droplets. Side by side is safer. Restaurants, well, I think our governor closed the indoors again, so this is no longer an option. I work out of state and I still see bars and restaurants opening, and this setting not this crowded, but I certainly see people sitting close to each other. Perhaps they are a family that social distance together, so theoretically you wouldn't think it's a big of a deal. But the server also don't wear mask or shield, so they potentially can be vectors. And so indoor is just not the greatest idea, until the vaccine comes out. I think indoor restaurant is just a matter of when someone's gonna catch COVID. Where outdoors, because um, I suppose people are less crowded, and if you don't look at each other, um, it's relatively safer. And if two tables distance is further out, it's very hard to imagine this table can spit all the way over here to that table by simply talking. Sneezing is another issue, but I suppose whenever we are outside, there is a certain available risk. But I feel that outdoor restaurant is a reasonable thing to do when it's not too crowded. And but there's that risk. Hard to say. Probably a small risk though. So meeting with guests, again, you trust these people. That's why they're in their house, in your house, or I trust them. That's why I invited them. I believe they're safe. They don't have COVID. Well, that's what everyone thinks anyway. But if you can imagine one of them has COVID, sitting this close, well, you'll get spit on, right? By all these micro droplets of talking. Whereas at this table, people are kind of sitting in a round circle, so nobody is looking at each other directly. They are looking at right in the middle of the table. So all these micro droplets of spits will go to a place with no one receiving end. Okay, so these are the last words. So Thomas Marcius is it's being on the news, KCAL and later CNN. So he's a trucker, and he's being very diligent about social distancing and sheltering at home. So for months, and when things are opening up, he found out there's a party, so he decided to go to finally see some friends. I think you and I can emphasize how he felt at the moment. Unfortunately, one of his friends did have COVID at the moment. Didn't tell him. He was asymptomatic, and he later become this way. He was admitted and hypoxic. And then so he posted on Facebook is that he's sorry he put his families at risk, and this is serious. Everyone should take it seriously. And well, not too long after that, he passed away. So yeah, we should really take heed to these last words. It's a different world we're living, and it only takes one wrong decision, to regret for a long time. So in summary, the risk of getting COVID is still here after reopening. In fact, the risk is much higher after reopening. Reopening doesn't mean that there's no more virus. We just had to work. Otherwise, there's no economy. So with or without mask, you can reduce the risk of getting spit on or spit onto people by with mask, right? Especially, I always feel more at ease whenever I talk to someone wearing mask, you know. Um, and ideally, I'll wear a mask for them too. So number two is to keep your distance. The further away from their mouth, the harder it is for the spits to land. And otherwise, minimize eye contact when talking too. It just when you're looking at someone's size, and the mouth will be pointing at their mouth, and it's just kind of a direct shot, right? Not good. So the last then there's that being outside. There's the case report about airborne transmission, meaning that the droplets can aerosolize and kind of like fart, I suppose. So being outside, the outside air will dilute it down, so it will not be contagious, I hope. And then lastly, just avoid crowds. The more people there is, I suppose, the more of these micro droplets happening, and they're all in the air. They just increase the risk of catching some on the face. So here you go. I hope these helps, and it's almost like preaching to the choir. But thank you for your time, and until next time.